Hello everyone, welcome back to this video, and we're still building our LED array. So the last time I guess we got to this point, with our modules over here. So we have our shift register with 8 LEDs connected and our Arduino Nano. So a couple of things, let me just increase this a bit to maybe 7.5 points. Place it down here in the corner, and we're going to place a screw terminal. So you can go to library, and I already kind of searched for it, but to find it, let me just click something. Then let's go back here. You go to connectors, okay, then under connectors you can go to screw terminal, and let's use a pitch of 2.54 millimeters. So select that, and number of pins per row, select 2. Apply filters, and we'll go with the first one we find. It's not exactly the cheapest, they're much cheaper versions, so let's see. They're actually very much cheaper versions, so let's go with this one since it's the cheapest here. But if you really want the cheapest, you can go to LCSC parts and you find a lot more. It's just that sometimes those footprints are not available here. And so there are a couple of things you could do to get them out. I guess as time proceeds, I'll show you. Progresses, I'll show you. I don't know if this is in stock. Usually when I see parts that start with 9 or 29, I get very nervous because sometimes they're not present in the library. Oh, but this one is. So we're going to place this over here, okay, for V in and ground, just so that we can have our external voltage source in, and you can hit Control G to place this ground line here. Okay, then let's place a net label on top of it. So what's a net label? It's a bit different from a port, even though they're both labels. If you had multiple sheets, a net label will only exist within the context of the sheet, but a port will be able to go across all sheets. So for example, SER, like this, if I put it in another page, right, and I place this port, it's going to be linked to the same pin. But if it was a net label, that wouldn't happen. Okay, so that's the basic difference. It's nothing too crazy, but hopefully it doesn't go over anybody's head. And a couple of things for me, when I'm done, any pin I don't use, I just go ahead and click this, and I place no connect flags on them. It's not entirely necessary, right? I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with me, but you just go ahead and place all of these nicely. And it's the only thing that this affords you is that when you are like trying to go into PCB mode, you don't get any errors, I guess, when you check your nets. So after that, we still haven't done what we are supposed to do, and that's placing the other register. So you can select all of this, Control C, and then guess what? Control V it. Right, and here we go. Okay, so after placing this, there's a little adjustment we would have to make, and I'm about to show you. So with this connection, we have almost everything we need, right? The only problem with this is that this second module isn't connected properly. I see this is U3, but let me call it U2. Okay, this second module isn't positioned properly, and why do you think that is? Oh, okay, sorry, let me just make this U3. So this is why. Okay, so this is serial in. If it's this way, I don't know if it's going to work properly, but it's just, you're just sending the same bit stream to both, right? For what we want though is that if we have something like this, 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 1, right? And let me put a bar here to differentiate the 8 bits pulses. All right, so what happens? We have 1101, 1011, right? Depending on the direction that you're shifting, you can shift LSB, which is the least significant bytes, right, first, or most significant bytes first, right? Bits first, you know. So depending on the direction, right? Let's say if we're going in one direction, then we've hit this point and we're trying to shift the rest of these in, right? But this is 8 bits, so all its IOs are full. So what happens is that it has to carry it forward, okay? And to do that, it's going to use this pin to push to the next. So it's either you're going to go from this pin, this board, to that board, or you're going to go from this board to this board, okay? That entirely depends on you, but for us, we're going to go from U1 to U3, okay? So to do that, that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to do something really simple, and that is to go here to Q7, right, over here, and we'll just name it Q7 prime. You know, I had already kind of typed these, so right, and then we're just going to rename this to Q7 prime, okay? So what's going to happen is when the overflow occurs, it overflows into this one, right? And that's really exactly what pin 8 is doing when it sends the fresh bits of data in here. And this one will be like, oh well, you can have this, okay? So yeah, and so theoretically you can hook up as many registers as you want, right? I mean, it depends on the capability of the board you're doing and all you're using and all that, but theoretically, you know, this is possible, as you can hook as many as you want over there. So now that you've done this, you know, you can go ahead and save, right? Control S, I think you go to file and then save. Yeah, okay, and you see connecting to server and it saves successfully. Okay, so assuming you're using teamwork mode, right? Then the next thing you do, you can go here and click update PCB or convert schematic to PCB. You know, I mean, you can click convert schematic to PCB, but I usually just go update the PCB because it will ask me, oh, say there are some unfinished nets. Do you want to check the nets first? You can, yeah. And I think it's just one pin, and I know exactly what this is. This one. You could have also clicked no if you didn't care. I mean, sometimes there's no way you would have like 0 warnings, you know, but don't worry about warnings, right? So let's go update PCB. We need to save our schematic first, so let's save, and we're going to update the PCB. So I'll ask you, there's no PCB under this project, would you like to create one? Yeah. And yeah, you have this outline here. Okay, so for now, don't worry about it. Let's just set our X to 0, our Y to 0. And what happens is, if you do this point here becomes 0 0, you know, and so the rest of your Y coordinates will become negative. So just so we don't have to deal with that, let me put a negative sign here, and it's going to fix all that. I mean, because I've been using this for a while, so I know. All right, then what do we do? Let's place this in this corner, okay? Or actually, we could just flip it around and then place it in this corner. And we can just drag the text label J1 over here. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at this. And in the next video, we're going to just place all of these components properly. And we're going to look at the different forms of... actually, I think I have some more time. So let's just drag and drop the components. Then we're going to maybe look at the different ways of routing them in the next video. So let's go. Yep. So let's go U1 here. Send it up a bit. U3 here. Okay. Then interesting. Let's go ahead. I mean, we can place this somewhere here for now. We'll deal with that later. But maybe come a bit to the side since it's just two boards, two pins we're using. And let's start. So for now, don't worry too much about grounds. Don't worry about, I would usually connect my power pins last, but let's start here. So this is R3, and just go place this school. Let's go R4. Okay, let me just drag these here so that I'll have a bit more vertical space to expand into. All right, so let's go R2 down here, and these are a few like headaches you'd have to deal with when you're placing components. You can alternatively hide all your labels, and I guess that would also work, but I'm not gonna hide mine. So let's go R5, place R6. Just going to do for one component, and I will pause the video so you can probably do the other one, and so the next time we resume in the next episode, before we do the routing, I would have also placed everything for the second one. So try and just try and do the same, I guess. Then I press R1. Oh my god. Oh, that's R1. Yeah, it's hard to find always. All right, so let's put R1 here, and okay, we have this probably maybe let me get this a bit closer, and I will select all of these and drag these a bit closer as well. Well, if you follow this, you're just going to get migraines, in terms of trying to position them the right way. And then where's this one? Let's do the LEDs as well. So we have our LED one. Hit K to center properly, and you could probably just flip it around twice. Yeah, it gets crazy, so let me bring it down here. Yeah, don't worry too much about that for now. I'll probably just position it properly, just so I don't waste your time. I'm just gonna maybe drag and drop over here, right? And I'm not going to worry too much about if it's well aligned or whatever. You can do that on your own, I guess. So yeah, do this. This is really kind of simple from here, because the really cool thing about PCBs is really, if you can build something on a breadboard, then it's not as difficult building on a PCB. The only difference though is that now you're not really if you make a mistake, it's much harder to clean up, right? Because then the board gets manufactured and you have to live with your mistake forever. And the breadboard allows you to just unplug. So unless you're really sure of what you're doing, you should probably not go into manufacturing, right? Until you know exactly what you're doing, then you can manufacture as many pieces as you want. I recently had this issue where I had a board made, and yeah, I was delivering the wrong voltage to another pin, so it was so messy to fix. And so ideally, in some really good places, a well-organized electronics facility, you probably have someone doing the build and someone doing inspection. And so that was something that I really learned, but I was also very fresh to this at the time when I made that mistake, and probably was the most knowledgeable person in the team. So yeah, a lot of factors, right? I couldn't pay an expert, but um I mean, I'm nowhere near being an expert, but I'm just like much better than I was, I guess. All right, so we have this, and it kind of looks so well placed. So just think about this. How are you going to place the next one? It's really, I mean, I've done this, so it'll be so easy for you to follow that and do the next for you three. So what we're going to do is this, the next video, I mean, I would have already done the connection for you three, but what would be focusing on is the different ways you can route your wires to each component on the board. Okay, so until then, see you and have a very nice time, fixing you three, I guess. All right.